All right, boys. We got 10 contenders to win the Super Bowl. We have 10 problems that each of them may face. I want you to tell me.
What do you mean? The Lions have no problems. They're the bestest team ever.
Well,
Signed Lions fans.
That's where we'll start. So something or nothing, essentially. Do you believe this to be a major issue, or can you move past it? The Lions, we'll start with this because we've talked about it ad nauseum. Staffing shakeups, new coordinators, the whole bit. Is that a big problem? How big of a problem could that cause?
It's all very real. These are massive issues. And what do you think the team's going to say? Oh, yeah, boy, I'll tell you, we're really going to miss Ben Johnson. No, you have to say we have great faith in the people we have.
Yeah, we prepared for this. We knew it was going to happen.
I'm every bit as concerned with the schedule, with this defense. I need to see it come together up front with Noah Lee McNeil. Marcus Davenport will probably get hurt falling out of bed. Bottom line, I think they're very real. I think the concerns are real. They could be a better team with a worse record. All real to me, Rico.
It's real to me because on offense, you know what? Ben Johnson and Goff, man, they worked in tandem with each other, and he tailored everything specifically. Him being gone, I don't know if the next coordinator is going to be, have that same effect on Goff. And for defense, it's one thing when you're the linebacking coach, but it's another thing when it's your defense to call and you're the one that has to explain to Dan Campbell why that play didn't work. So I think it could be a major problem for them.
So the next team on here is the Buffalo Bills, and one of their bigger problems is cited as big game defense.
I'm gonna say nothing.
We're gonna call this Kansas City Chiefs defense. Let's just be real.
I think the Bills took an offseason and did the opposite of what the Lions did. They went out, went all hands on deck, and did what they needed to do up front, including they were a small, quick, twitchy defense, a disruptive D-line. They added size and height. Everyone they brought in, at least 6'6". I'm going to say no. I'm going to get killed for this. I think this is the Bills' year. I think they're getting it done. I think they're going to win the whole effing thing.
I don't want to kill you because I can see that it's the Bills, and they always find a way.
That's my problem. I know. Wide right.
The fact that they went out and said, what do we have to do to beat the Chiefs? Let's just call it what it is. They beat the Ravens. It's the Chiefs that we have a problem with.
Yep.
So if we can't get to Mahomes, let's get taller to knock down his passes. Let's do whatever we have to do.
And to stop the run.
Yeah.
Just to stand up to the pressure at the line of scrimmage. No,
the fact that they addressed the problem tells me no, they know that their window is now. Funny how that works.
I know.
And the next two teams I'm actually going to loop together because it's basically saying the same thing except a little different. Baltimore offensive line durability, KC offensive line stability.
You want to go first?
No, you can go.
I'm going to go Kansas City on this one. Yes, problems. They have tried to address the left tackle position multiply, including project developmental guys in the draft. It hasn't worked. You ended up with Joe Tooney playing left tackle. I think it catches up to him. And they're trying to retool offensively. They have lost the verticality in their passing game. I don't believe in Kelsey. I think the red flags are real for Kansas City.
Yeah, and I think for the Ravens is, can you stay healthy? A guy like Stanley, can he become that guy for you again?
And can Lamar play a playoff game without a bag over his head?
You know what? I'm not going to do it.
Hey, listen, terrible fumble, terrible interception.
We're talking about offensive line.
I'm talking about Lamar.
Can we stay focused?
Okay.
The next one here is the next one here is the Georgia-Philadelphia Eagles. Defensive turnover they have as the biggest problem for them.
It's very real. You don't. Again, I know Lions fans aren't aware of this. You don't keep everyone all the time. And the Eagles eventually had to say goodbye to a few guys, Josh Sweat included, Milton Williams included. I think it does catch up to you. And look, they just won the Super Bowl. I have red flags for them regardless because repeating is damn near impossible.
Yeah, if you win the Super Bowl, it doesn't really matter what the red flags are the next season. You've won the Super Bowl.
And the fact that because they won the Super Bowl, a lot of people on that defensive line, as Mike just pointed out, capitalized on that. They went and got paid because now they have their ring. They're going for the money. The Eagles will be relying on a lot of their young players and a lot of their draft picks, a lot of the Georgia Bulldogs. Can you step up now? Because it's all your team. Let's keep this thing going.
And this one I feel like we also talk about quite frequently. Let's go in division. Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy, what is he? What's his ceiling? What's his floor? What's he going to turn out to be? Because that's ultimately going to be the axis that team swings off of.
I mean, the ceiling ultimately would be a Baker Mayfield type guy. Not mobile quarterback, but mobile enough. Not the biggest arm, but a good arm. Not the flat, but like a competitor.
On a key third down play, you do whatever it takes to get the first down.
He's a gamer. Now,
like Baker, I think that's a good comparison.
Like, again, I've said this for years. If JJ would have gone to a place like Ole Miss or USC with a Lincoln Riley or a Lane Kiffin, we'd already have these answers. But I'm just going to lean into it. The possibility is he's very good.
Yeah.
Or he's out of football in 2 years and he's, Matt Castle.
No,
I don't know.
Fair point because, he won the title at Michigan, but, games we threw the ball 15 times.
He knew the other team's place. David's not here to throw a flag.
I was trying to keep this.
You don't have to try nothing.
Okay.
Relax.
Okay. But no, Kenny, yes, that is the biggest concern. I've said it before. They have all the toys. He's all the weapons. And here's the thing that's going to really hurt him is, NFL journeyman Sam Darnold came in here and got this thing rolling.
That's why it's not a concern. If a ginger idiot can do it, so can you, JJ. That roster's loaded.
I like how adjectives just keep getting added on. What ginger idiot, ginger moron.
JJ will be okay. Minnesota's going to be okay. I know I'm not allowed to say that in Detroit.
Well, you're not allowed to say this one either because we're going to move in division as well, go to Green Bay. Their depth and durability is going to be their downfall, according to CBS.
I'm going to agree with that one.
Oh, absolutely.
That is a red flag that's legit. And here's the other thing. Rico and I talked about this last week. You were face down sleeping. They don't have any pass rushers. Therefore, can't afford to lose the crap that they have. No, I'm concerned. Any injuries, their season's over. Their depth is not where it needs to be.
Especially whatever you got to do at the end of every game, you got to put Jordan Love in some bubble wrap. But when he goes down, that's a completely different team. He has to stay healthy. And, the pass rush, I know you didn't ask about that, but they have to do something. And,
No, they don't. Because they didn't.
No, I'm saying, but if you have a healthy Jordan Love and you have a decent pass rush, I think Green Bay's a different type of team. Now they're competitive.
Maybe Gutekunst and Holmes are the same person, just in a different skin suit, because neither addresses the pass rush.
This one is always one that baffles me is the Cincinnati Bengals. Is this the year they can finally put it together?
No. The entire organization's a red flag. From the defensive coordinator shakeup to the Trey Hendrickson alienation to what they did with their team captain and Jermaine Pratt, I'm out on everything Bengals. I think the helmets are cool. There's my commentary.
You know what? I'm with you. Yeah, the striped tigers. I did like the little Bengal the old school Bengal on the side.
Man, the younger audience is going to have to Google that.
Well, use the Google, but Kenny, I think a lot's going to be said about the Bengals. Do they fall apart when they hit a 2-game losing streak? Because I think that's where a lot of people are going to do finger pointing, and you weren't ready, and you were holding out, and we hate the owner, and this team is cheap, and you're going to hear everything. The media members will have a plethora of quotes once they hit any type of losing streak, because I think it all falls apart.
And that's why I didn't put a specific thing on this one, is because which thing is the biggest problem for the Bengals? You could count 5, 6, 7 of them.
Kenny, if they're winning, it's going to be, Cincinnati versus everybody. But the second they start losing, it's a house of cards.
And the last one on the list here is Matthew Stafford and his age. Is that going to be an issue for the Rams?
Not a concern to me. Absolute warrior, plays hurt, arm strength is still there, performance is still there. No concern.
And I think that, the Rams really know what they have in him, and they don't ask too much of him. And you got Puka Nacua there, who can, extend plays and get things done. No, I think that I'm not concerned about his age at all because they do not ask him to be the Matt Stafford of old.
But if he gets big long-term injured, that could be a problem. Is the only way that I can see that.
Everybody.
That's for any player.
Right, but Matthew Stafford being a little bit older lends itself more to that being a possibility versus a younger guy.
You know what? But see, the thing is, Stafford still shows me he's got some hunger and desire because I thought after he won a Super Bowl, it would kind of just be cruise control. I got my ring. I got my money. I'm ready to retire. But he still brings it for the Rams. So, yes, Kenny, if he gets injured, it'll all fall apart. But no, I like what he's doing with the Rams.
Yeah, that is in football today.